Tigray External Affairs Office issued a statement on Friday in response to allegations of human rights violation by Tigrayan forces in neighboring Amhara region. The statement said that Tigray's army condones the deliberate targeting of civilians and said the government and its forces had no intention to commit the same horrific atrocities committed on its own people, and said sexual violence was a heinous crime that leaves an enduring physical and psychological scar on its victims. As amply documented by various media outlets and institutions, thousands of Tigrayan women have been victims of this vicious crime. The statement also stated that since August, the Abiy regime and Amhara authorities had called on the rest of Ethiopians to confront Tigrayan forces with whatever weapons at their disposal. On August 10, for instance, as the Associated Press reported, Abiy regime called on all capable citizens to fight in the Tigray war. It is in the context of such toxic discourses coming from the upper echelons of the federal and Amhara regional government that our forces were conducting their defensive operations. The statement also says that in order to incentivize them to obey the immoral instructions of mobilizing civilians for war, the Amhara regional government permitted that civilians would own whatever weapons they managed to wrest from the Tigrayan forces. This irresponsible and dangerous policy effectively puts civilians at risk by turning them into combatants without the advantage of trained and armed fighters. According to the statement, the government of Tigray believes that only an independent investigation by an impartial international body can get to the bottom of all the atrocities and feels compelled to address allegations head-on. The statement also says that the Ethiopian and Eritrean militaries and Amhara regional forces have violated particularly every tenet of international human rights law and international humanitarian law in Tigray, and said no village in Tigray has been spared from long reach of these genocidal forces. Their feeble attempt to establish moral equivalence between their forces and that of Tigray's army is designed to conceal the extent of their criminal record in Tigray and for the international community to adopt the position that all sides have committed atrocities, but there can never be equivalence between isolated incidents of misconduct by Tigrayan forces and the systematic campaign to exterminate the people of Tigray. The office reiterated the government's administration for the work of human rights advocates such as Amnesty. However, all the same, Amnesty and other international human rights organizations should not compromise the credibility of their work by unwitting or wittingly becoming accomplices to the Abiy regime's incessant propaganda and brazen attempt to whitewash its well-documented genocidal campaign in Tigray.